What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Mystic Remora and Rhystic Study. Are these cards going to get banned in Commander? I guess we'll find out. Let's go ahead and hit that intro and get right into the video. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the potential bannings of Mystic Remora and Rhystic Study, and specifically Commander. I don't know enough about Standard or these other formats to really go ahead and talk about that, but my lens is going to be between cEDH and Casual Commander. Both are going to have different aspects to this. They're both going to have different mindsets and intents to this. cEDH specifically, like I'll just go ahead and talk about that. Especially mid-range decks, because as you probably know, in cEDH there's mid-range decks and there's turbo decks, and I mean there's a bunch of decks in between, and you can make a mid-range deck more turbo and vice versa, but specifically there's usually more mid-range decks like Kinnan, which is what I pilot, and then turbo decks like Itali, Primal Conqueror, or I think Magda, or Ral, or Ral, however you pronounce it. Those are more turbo, so they're wanting to win between turns 1 and 2, maybe 3. Whereas more mid-range decks like Kinnan, I want to win turns 3 to 4 to whenever. You know what I mean? Like, it really just depends. And the reason why mid-range decks compete against turbo is mainly because of Rhystic Study and Mystic Remora. Constant card draw is going to give us more advantages into the game, and it's more detrimental to cEDH players that Rhystic Study doesn't get banned because of this reason specifically. Because if it does get banned, a lot of more mid-range decks might leave the format entirely. Like, they just won't compete against these turbo decks like Itali. And that's a scary thing. I mean, that's going to affect a lot of the culture within cEDH. And I mean, I'm new to the community, so if it's always been this way, let me know. If it hasn't, if this has just been a recent thing where we're now seeing more mid-rangey decks, let me know in the comments, because I don't know. I'm just talking about what I've been seeing since starting. Like, my Kinnan list specifically relies on Rhystic Study, you know what I mean, to get that incremental card draw, because that's realistically what makes or breaks your game. And then personally, I like Mystic Remora more. I find that I get to draw a lot more cards with Mystic Remora out. The only drawback with Mystic Remora, and honestly it might be a pro now, because I don't think they ban Mystic Remora over Rhystic Study. If they were to ban one, it would be Rhystic, is that you have to pay for it. Every upkeep, you gotta pay to keep your Mystic Remora on the battlefield. But that's my two thoughts for cEDH in that community. Is if they do ban Rhystic Study, a lot of these more mid-range decks are going to leave the format. I don't think they're going to be able to compete with these turbo decks, which sucks. It sucks for me, especially because I just built Kinnan, and I'm really excited to play Kinnan. And I also, specifically with Kinnan, a lot of what makes Kinnan great is the no bad cards version, which is basically focusing your deck and tailoring it to Mystic Remora and Rhystic Study. So if they do this, it kind of it screws Kinnan a little bit. But also Kinnan relies on clones. So if your opponent has a Rhystic Study, now I have a Rhystic Study. You know, you can clone your opponent's Rhystic Studies. And you can have more than one Rhystic Study on the battlefield, more than one Mystic Remora on the battlefield. I mean, that's what makes Kinnan so great, is these clones. And that's a mechanic that I'm pretty new to. I don't really clone a lot of things. I don't think I've ever really cloned anything in Magic before. So it's new for me, and I'm excited for it. It's different colors. You know, I've never played a Simic deck before. I've wanted to for the longest time, but I never really found that commander that I really liked for it. And I've mentioned that previously on the channel, and we'll get more into detail about Kinnan when his video, when I make his deck tech or whatnot. But again, the bottom line is, if they do ban Rhystic Study, it's going to completely mess with these mid-range decks that need these card draw engines to compete with these turbo decks. And I feel like cEDH is in a really healthy spot right now from what I've seen. And I'm talking strictly in like a deck analysis, not necessarily like toxicity between players, more so just the cards and what the cards are offering and what the balance of it is. We need these mid-range decks to beat out these Atali turn 2, crazy decks that win so fast. And I've seen it happen too. I mean, I feel like that's something that we need. But in the more casual commander setting, I don't think you need Rhystic Study. Like, I've played casual commander with Rhystic Study. I've played against a Rhystic Study. And a lot of people forget their triggers in casual commander. It just happens. And I don't think the card is really as valuable there as it is in these competitive, formats like cEDH, where if you forget a trigger, you're pretty much screwed. It's important to remember your triggers and to make sure you're, utilizing everything in your arsenal to win. But it's the intent behind these cards. In casual commander, you're not using Rhystic Study to its full potential, at least from what I've seen, and not necessarily myself, but from other people and what I've played against. They've missed a ton of triggers. And it gets overshadowed by a lot of things. And the incremental card draw too in casual commanders, it's much needed. It's good, but I feel like there's way more ways to win in casual commander. There's way more ways around Rhystic Study. Whereas in cEDH, everything is pretty cut and dry, which is good and bad. I mean, there's pros and cons to everything in life, even outside of Magic. But yeah, I don't think people are utilizing Rhystic Study as crazy as people in cEDH. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, I think they don't have to necessarily, Casual commander is casual commander. I mean, it's casual. It's a casual format. You're not expected to get all your triggers, make sure you're doing everything. It's more of a sit back, relax, play the game that you love, and just see what you can do. Have fun. Whereas cEDH, yeah, you want to have fun while you're playing it, but your goal is to win, which is not forgetting triggers, utilizing everything that you can in your hand, in your graveyard, in your library. What is the best move that I can make this turn to win? Or to gain that incremental advantage that Rhystic Study and Mystic Remora provide in those formats. So again, I think there's a shift between these different communities. Casual commander, I think the ban for Rhystic isn't going to do anything major. For cEDH, I feel like it's detrimental. So if they do ban Rhystic Study, we're going to see a shift, a big shift in cEDH. And specifically Kinnan might not be one of the top decks anymore, to say the least. I think that the clones help Kinnan. I feel like you can clone a lot of things, and if you frame Kinnan to be all clones and stuff, you can clone a lot of like Smothering Tides and stuff like that. But I feel like if they ban Rhystic Study, they should ban Smothering Tide because they do kind of the same thing. I mean, it's different. One is treasure tokens, the other is card draw. But, I mean, like, Tim Necrom utilizes Smothering Tide. Like, if you have a turn 1, turn 2 Smothering Tide, you're pretty much going to win the game. Like, it's just as detrimental to you winning as Rhystic Study is, or Mystic Remora. So, those are my thoughts on those two cards. Thassa's Oracle, I think I don't want to say the easiest win con to do, because it's kind of confusing, and I've never played with Thassa's Oracle. It's not in my Kinnan deck. I don't really want to play Thassa's Oracle from what I've seen. It just sounds kind of complicated. You're like milling your deck. I don't know. But again, it is probably the most, not the easiest, but the most efficient win con in cEDH specifically. So if they ban Thassa's Oracle, I feel like, again, you're gonna see a big shift in a lot of decks. Like Blue Farm isn't going to utilize Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, that kind of win con combo there. You're not going to see that anymore. Again, I don't run Thassa's Oracle and Kinnan. I don't like it. I don't want to. I have other ways to win. I like the Basalt Monolith and, you know, combos, infinite mana, that kind of thing. But you're going to see a shift between casual people. Casual players don't care about Thassa's Oracle. You're not seeing Thassa's Oracle in bracket 3 and below decks. Thassa's Oracle is a bracket 4, bracket 5 card. So I don't think that the ban for Thassa's Oracle is going to affect casual players. I don't. At least not. I'm sure there's a few people. Obviously, there's outliers to everything, but in the grand scheme of things, I feel like banning of all these cards is going to greatly affect cEDH players more than casual players. And that's my 2 cents, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. If you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. Let's have a conversation about it. Because we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know the exact date. I think they're gonna announce bans and stuff like that, or unbans, within the next few weeks, I think. So we'll find out what happens. But again, thank you so much for watching. These are my 2 cents on these cards, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.